students, today you will learn how to use Google Calendar to keep track of your assignments, due dates, and other important dates to keep you organized this school year and beyond. You'll also learn how to use Tasks and Keep, which are two other Google apps that are integrated into Google Calendar. All of these are accessible with your school-provided Google account and Chromebook. You can also get to these apps on any personal device as long as you've logged in with your LCPS Google account. Let's get started. You can access Google Calendar from your apps, which is this waffle-looking icon at the top of your screen in your Chrome browser. Or you can type calendar.google.com in your address bar. And again, this will work on any device, not just your Chromebook. Take a look at your calendars on the left side of your screen here. You'll see under My Calendars your personal calendar. Mine has my name here. Yours will have your student ID number. That is a calendar where you can add your own items to. You'll also see reminders and tasks, which you are also able to edit. Below that, you'll see other calendars. Now these are calendars for any Google Classroom that you are a student of. So every Google Classroom where you're a student, you have a separate calendar. And you can view all of the content of those separate calendars in one screen. So that's exactly what we want. That's what we're going for here with Google Calendar. We want to view all of these dates of importance in one spot so that we don't need to be going to separate places. It's important to note that you'll need to make sure your calendars have a check mark in the box next to them. If they don't, they won't display in this main view screen here. So for example, you might have a Google Classroom where you're no longer a part of, or maybe it's a club where information is just shared in that Google Classroom and things aren't really being added to the calendar, so you don't need it to show up in your main view. You could uncheck that here. A couple of tips here. If you hover over each of your calendars, you'll notice these three dots to the right. If you click on that, you'll see the settings and the sharing. It gives you an opportunity to color code each calendar. So I suggest choosing a different color for each of your calendars so that when you're looking at this main screen here, you'll know visually where that date is coming from. For example, my personal calendar is purple, so I noticed that anything in purple is something that I added to this calendar. I have my tasks in blue, so you can see that this is an item I added for my tasks. And then for each of my Google Classroom calendars, I can do the same thing and choose a different color there. So if I were to add an assignment, or if the teacher of that Google Classroom were to add an assignment with a due date, it would appear in green and I would be able to note where that's coming from. Also, at the top of your calendar, you'll notice a drop down here. That gives you a chance to view your calendar in a couple different views. Right now, I'm looking at my calendar at a weekly view. If I change that to the monthly view, I can see everything for that month. I could also change it to the year. And if I want to get back to the weekly view, again, just use that drop down at the top. Also at the top, there's some arrows to navigate to the next week ahead. I can go back. If I get too far away from today's date and I want to get back to the weekly view that includes today's date, I can click on Today and it will bring me back. We want you to use Google Calendars this year to stay very organized and on top of all of the upcoming due dates and activities that you might be a part of. So you can add your own dates by just clicking anywhere in your calendar. And if you click somewhere and it's not where you intended for it to be, by double clicking you can change that date at the top there so that you can select the date. Maybe it's in the future from where you're viewing it from. So once you have that open, you're going to go ahead and add a title and choose a start time and a stop time, or you can make it an all-day event. Also, you'll notice that you have an option to add a notification. So maybe I like that because sometimes I need a reminder. Maybe I need a reminder a day beforehand, or I need it to be an hour beforehand, or maybe at a specific time. Worth noting also is that when you do a double click, it's going to open up to these more options that you have. If you are doing just a single click on your calendar screen, you'll just see this pop-up window. And to get to more options, you're going to click on the More Options button at the bottom. Now we want to give you an opportunity to get comfortable with your Google Calendar. So go ahead and open up your Google Calendar and navigate to the color coding. Choose a different color for each of your calendars. Practice with the different views of your calendar. And one I didn't even mention earlier was schedule. So that shows you a list of all of your dates coming up. So play around with the navigation, find one that works well for you, and then also go ahead and add in a upcoming date so that you know how to do that.